It's time. It's time to sell some gear. So if you've been watching my channel or following it or seeing the last bunch of videos, you'll see that I've been on a Tone Quest journey to making a compact rig. I've been going through FRFRs, pedal boards with IR2 pedals like the Tonex or the Boss IR2 or digital, and this channel is built on the Pod Go. That's how this channel grew and got monetized based on that content and the presets that I've been doing. And for the last 3 or so years, I've been pretty heavily digital for gigs, and I've used pedals and tube amps here and there. But it's been a whirlwind ride, and I think I'm getting to a place of simplicity or getting back to full circle. I grew up with tube amps and pedals. I'm 50 years old. That's what I grew up with. That's the sounds I know and love. And this past weekend, I got called last minute for a subs gig, top 40 rock, pop, disco, band. Great band, Rock Roll Renegades. And there was a Mesa Boogie half-stack Mark V already there that my friend left at the venue. So I put together a simple pedal board, and it was just a tuner, drive, a boost, and a delay. And it's all I needed. And it gave me the sound that I wanted. Compact enough. Now, mind you, I wasn't bringing the amp home, and this venue is such a cool venue that they have the PAs there. They provide backline, like even a set of drums, so you don't really bring much to begin with. But it was compact, it did what I needed, and I felt connected to it. It sounded real, it sounded great, and it's what I've been missing with digital. This does not mean that I'm giving up on digital. I think I'm finding my place. For live, my criteria was, and really going for digital, was compact and being able to feed, I could have effects going to my tube amp, because I would still use it for the majority of time. I would use a tube amp and just have the digital effects from the modeler, but also having a feed going to my band's PA, because my main trio, we like to mic everything. So we have a quiet stage volume. And so going digital was just an easy solution for that, right? That being said, I can easily mic an amp. I can bring a mic, an extra mic cable. I have an SM57 sitting in a drawer that's been doing nothing for years. Easy solution. So I don't even need to have a digital solution to feed a signal to the front of house /PA. However, I do have purpose and use for digital modelers. And I'm giving you the backstory here, and I am going to tell you why I want to sell some stuff, because I have too many digital modelers. But anyways, digital, I use it still in the studio, mostly for online sessions. I've had clients ask me, like, what amp and mic did you use? And I told them it was either the Pod Go or the HX Stomp, and they were blown away. And it's great being in a condo. My home studio is in a condo, so it provides me quiet solution for practice, recording. Yes, I've had load boxes where I can feed my amp head into the load box, into Logic Pro, but you're still using a simulated speaker, so it's not full analog anyways. So that being said, I'm going to stick with digital, and still for content for this channel is going to be mostly about the modelers, because I still love them. I still will use them. I might even try them again live, but right now I'm happy with the tube amp and pedals. So the thing is, I'm calling it 6 modelers. Now I have four full effects units, and then I have the 2 being a Tonex and the Boss IR2. So those really aren't full effects. Those are more, like amp and mostly amp and cab simulators. Yes, Tonex, you can turn it into a stomp. But anyways, they're not, to me, not full-on digital modelers, but I will still include them here. So let's start with that. Between the Tonex and the Boss IR2, am I going to keep both? I'm not sure. I really like both, but obviously the smaller footprint is the Tonex. Now, I've been getting a little more familiar with the Tonex 1, and that's the one I have. And I am more than happy to put that in my gig bag, and it will serve me as a backup amp in case my tube amp craps out. And yes, behind me, this is not a tube amp. This is the Fender Tone Master FR10 FRFR speaker, which, if you've seen some of my recent videos that I just got, it's great. It has that hiss issue that has been known to have it, I guess, with some of these. I don't think I need this anymore, because I think I'm going with amps. And while this is a great solution, don't see the point of keeping it, so I'm probably going to return it. but I do need some kind of backup live just in case. So I really like the Tonex. Now the Boss IR2 is great as well. Less options than the Tonex, but it will do the job. So what I would like is actually when I go through these comparisons, if you want to drop a comment, let me know what your thoughts about all of this. So between the Tonex one, IR2, which one do you think serves a better purpose? Really, all I'm looking for is a backup amp, and it would be set to like a clean Fender amp. So I don't really need anything fancy. So what do you think about that? Now, the 4 other modelers I have, let's go through them very quick. I have the Sonic Cake Matrobox. I have the Boss GT1. I have the Line 6 Pod Go, of course, and I have the Line 6 HX Stomp. I don't need all 4. I don't want all 4 anymore because for me, having all this stuff is option paralysis. And for guitars, for example, at the start of 2024, I counted I had 17 instruments. I've whittled it down to 12, and I still have 2 or 3 I want to sell because I don't need them all. Some people will say 9 or 10. Well, that's still a lot. Yes, but they are all different. Okay, like I'll have a Tele, I'll have a Strat, I'll have an SG, and I'll have an acoustic, I'll have a Revstar, a Les Paul. Like I have differences, right? And then actually guitar pedals, I've sold quite a bunch, and I've kept it down to a select few where I can make, let's say, 2 to 3 different pedal boards if needed of different sizes. But really, the basic effects I would use would be tuner, drive, boost, delay. Those are for sure have to be on the board. Other wish list items would be a chorus and perhaps a wall, which I don't really use much, but that would be really all I need, and maybe another drive stack. So that's it. So for the modelers, though, I don't need all 4 of these. The Sonic Cake Matrobox, it served me well. It's pretty simple to use. It has its limitations, of course, and maybe one might say it doesn't sound as good as a Quad Cortex or an HX Stomp, but that's up to an individual's ears. I think it sounds great. I think I've dialed in some good things. It fits in a backpack. It's cheap, and it's very simple. Okay, like you dial in your preset. If you just want to use it at effects, you turn off the amp and cab blocks, just like any other modeler. Done. And it's not too many options. So it's a great beginner's one for sure. Do I need it? Don't know. Again, I want your comments on this and what you think about this. Boss GT1. And if I compare, I'll go in order of, I guess, of my importance or my favorites. Sorry, not important, but my favorite ones, I guess. The Line 6 stuff is my favorite. But the Boss GT1, great unit. Great Boss effects. It sounds great. I do have a video that I did. I think it's called somewhere in March 2024, which has become actually I think my most popular video on this channel, of how good it sounds with just the effects going through a tube amp. Part of me thinks, why would I sell that? Because that's cheap too. I got it used for under 200 Canadian. I got the Sonic Cake Matrobox for under 200 Canadian, brand new. So those are the good price points. I think I like the Matrobox more than the GT1 just for the user friendliness of it. I think I can navigate the Matrobox one easier because I don't really like the menu screens on the Boss GT1. I don't like the layout of it. It just doesn't look crystal clear to me. It almost looks a little confusing. But I mean, I figured it out. Sounds good. So there's that. But do I need to keep it? Let's go to the Line 6 Pod Go. That's staying. That is the bread and butter of this channel. And I feel like I've been neglecting it a bit. Now, it does have its limitations, but really, I used that for probably a solid year when I got it, using it live. And it served me well. It's like a little pedal board with an expression pedal. So that's not going anywhere. So that's staying. We all know how good it is. And I want to investigate it more and give you guys more presets. I mean, that's, I've had some success giving you free presets. I've had people actually pay me to build custom presets for them. So I want to investigate it more because, for example, I haven't even touched the looper on it. I don't use loopers. Don't know how to, but I will. It doesn't look too complex, but that's something I want to figure out. I want to show you how to do reamping and stuff with it. There's so much more the Pod Go can do that I haven't even touched on. So there will be more Pod Go content. That is not leaving. That brings me now to the big one that I have is the HX Stomp. Now I've had a Helix LT. That's probably the most, well, that's not true. That's not the most expensive one I've had, but I have had a Quad Cortex, but I sold it. I said I don't need this much firepower because most of the gigs I do are bar gigs or Legion gigs. Nothing that is requires me really to have like all these XLR outs or multiple outputs to feed to here to there. I mean, I've done even theater. I've done a theater gig with the Podgo in a tribute band down in the States. So, so that, like I said, the HX Stomp. The capabilities of dual signal path is great. I mean, obviously it has more effects, and you could even have it set where you can have 2 amps. I mean, I could have a clean amp and then switch it to a dirty amp. Just dual amp capabilities on the Stomp, right? Which the Podgo doesn't have. But I don't need it, even for home recording. I really like when I'm recording parts, I'm doing one track at a time. Like I'm not switching from a distorted guitar to a clean guitar with like edge style delay on it and the same track. So I don't think I need this much firepower for the Stomp. So what do you think, right? I mean, the reason I keep it is because that fits in a gig bag. It's great. I take it to rehearsals and, it sounds great. It's a great sounding unit. Again, I'm not sure what I need. Well, I mean, I'm not sure if I need the HX Stomp. I know what I want. I know it works well for me. So I know this video's been getting on there, but your opinions do matter to me, people. I mean, they do. I want to know what you guys think. So the criteria, I'll recap. So bear with me. So I want analog. I want my pedal board and tube amp live. That's the sound I crave. It just, the gig the other night, it was just getting compliments on the tone and it felt good. So, and then the other live criteria was having a signal go to the PA. Well, we all know you can mic an amp. So let's take digital out of that. So my live. So for home studio use, out of the Matrobox, the GT1, the Podgo, or the HX Stomp, if let's say I'm going to keep 2, right? Maybe I don't need all 4. Podgo stays. So which of the other 3 do you think? Like for rehearsals, it would be nice to have something small, but I could take a Podgo to rehearsal. It's not overly huge. It's again the firepower. I don't need that much firepower. I just need some like one good sound when I'm recording a track. That's it. I don't need multiple types of outputs. Okay, and I'm not worried about using these with amps because I think the most use I'm going to get is here in the home studio, going right into my interface. All right, so yeah, if you guys been watching my last bunch of videos and all this journey of Tone Quest I've been on, well, I think I've come to my conclusion that I need that analog old school sound to make it compact. Well, I don't need tons of pedals. I can make a nice small pedal board, which I did on my sub gig this past weekend, and I was more than happy. And having less options, be it through a modeler or in a pedal board, for me is the key. Like I told you what my basics 4 sounds were that I wanted, my 4 effects, and that allows me to focus more on playing music instead of tap dancing. And another benefit that I'm just thinking of now is for my analog pedal board and tube amp. When I go to venue to venue to venue, yes, you're going to do some tweaking, but you know what? I'm not rebuilding the pedal itself. There's dials on the pedal, you dial it according to the room. It's like you spend, and when you bring your digital modeler to the venue, it's going to sound different. And you've spent all your hard time building what you think is the perfect preset, and it just might be for your environment at home. It probably is the perfect preset, but then I don't know, like me, I've been discouraged and disappointed many times taking digital stuff out to a venue. It's like, why doesn't it sound the same? Well, of course, because the venue acoustics itself come into play. And then now you start messing around with either the global settings on your unit, and if that's not good enough, then you're going into your preset itself and retweaking it, and then you got to go to menu screens, and then it's like, oh, should I make a copy and save it? It's just too much now for me. It's just been getting to be too much. I just want to plug and play, tweak a few dials on my pedals to get the tone that makes me happy in the room, and it's off to the races. Now we can play music and not be computer programmers, right? All right. So all this being said, I'm not trying to crap on digital stuff at all. I still like it. I want to keep some of it, definitely, because I have uses for it. It's going to be great for maybe for rehearsals, just a quick grab and go, throw it in the gig bag or something. Or if I don't feel like bringing pedals, and just worrying about that. It just gives me another option, but it's going to be definitely heavily used at home. So there will be more Pod Go content. So yeah, as I asked before, let me know what you think about this between the Tone X, the IR2, and then the other 4 modelers that I've mentioned. What do you think? If you could just pick one of the Tone X1 and the IR2, pick one. What do you think would be the best for the needs I have? I just need something as a backup amp that is set to one clean amp to plug into. That's it, and it has to be really super small. Probably Tone X, right? And then the other 4. I just maybe 2 at the most I'd keep out of those 4. Which ones do you think? And Pod Go is staying, so like I said earlier. What about the other 3? What do you think? What do you use? What do you like? So we can go on, and I know I've gone on long enough in this video, and I appreciate if you've stuck around to watch all of this. Thank you so much. And there will be lots more content coming. So fear not, digital fans. There is digital content. It is a mainstay of this channel, and I might branch into some more explorations with my pedals and stuff. Maybe I'll try new pedals out and just configurations of that. Give you some live clips of that, how that sounds, and yeah, there's lots we can cover. Okay, so thanks, guys. If you liked the video, please give it a like. Feel free to subscribe, and in the meantime, why don't you check out this video?